Hey guys, and welcome back to the 52-week project. This week was a little bit different for me. I know last week I said it was different as well, and it was. I photographed my boyfriend Dan last week, and I'm not used to photographing male models, but this week I actually did something really different, and I'm gonna put it out there that I did have a lot of help this week, and it wasn't just myself that was doing everything, but I did take some self-portraits this week. And for those of you who have seen my DeviantArt or have followed me from a really long time ago when I used to post a lot on there, everything I actually posted was self-portraits, and I used to do a lot of them. I probably haven't done a self-portrait in around 4 or 5 years now, because I've just strayed away from that, and I never really had the need to do self-portraits or felt the need. But I do think there is a bit of importance around taking a self-portrait from time to time. I think particularly with social media these days, people like to see who you are also in front of the camera, and they like to see your personality come through. So I think in a sense it is important, and I kind of just sucked it up this week, and I didn't have a model anyway, so I thought I would get some self-portraits in Venice and in Chefchaouen, which is where we were in Morocco. I wouldn't say I'm 100% happy with the photos this week. It's just how I personally feel, although I am very critical, obviously, being that it's a self-portrait as well. You're always very self-critical of yourself. So I think that's why maybe I'm not 100% on these photos, and I feel like a lot of them were because of my limited time in taking photos this week. It felt rushed, and I think I could have probably gotten some better portraits if I'd just taken more time out to do them, and I think I will do that in future. But you know, it was a kind of hard task this week. I mean, we were in quite touristy areas as well. There were a lot of people around, so we just had to sort of take our chances when we could, and sometimes that was being a bit rushed. I said a little bit earlier on in the video that it wasn't just me that had a hand in taking these photos this week. My boyfriend Dan did help me out a lot, and a lot of the time we just didn't have enough time to set up a tripod, or for myself to set up a tripod and do a self-timer and do a self-portrait that way, because there were so many people around, and I was really quite worried about my gear as well, especially from a distance of it being stolen or you know, taken. So I think I had to be quite careful with that. And yeah, so Dan was helping me out in taking these photos, and I was trying to frame them up first, get the composition or the location. I would be scouting for locations, trying to communicate what I wanted from the shots, but it was kind of hard because, like I said, I'm so used to taking photos of other people now, so when it comes to myself and getting in front of the camera, I'm really not great at that anymore. I think I just don't feel overly comfortable, and I can't even take my own advice, which is really weird. I just don't know what to do, and I do feel awkward. So I felt like a lot of the time was me standing in front of the camera, being awkward, feeling awkward, and not knowing what to do. So I think next time when I take some self-portraits, it's actually going to have more of a conceptual feel to it maybe, and more of an idea behind it, whereas these were more, maybe not so fashion orientated, they were a little bit more travel shots, I guess. I hope you guys enjoy the photos from this week. Like I said in last week's video, this week and last week has been a little bit technically not there with videos. I haven't had a lot of time to actually sit down and do a proper video with my actual camera, my 5D Mark II, and actually put a little bit of effort into them. So I am sorry if this isn't, you know, technically great, but next week I swear we're back to model photo shoots, and we are back to proper videos. I feel I'm going to show you a few behind the scenes clips. It's like last week, so there's not going to be much at all of us shooting or anything. It's going to be more so just travel vlog clips from the places that we did photograph in, and then I'm going to tell you guys which are my favorite photos from the week, and then go through what I could have improved on. Hope you enjoyed those clips, and now I'm going to go through what I think I could have done a bit better this week. I think I already have kind of specified what I could have done a bit better. I just think that honestly I could have taken out more time to, I don't know, compose an idea or the framing. You know, I'm not 100% on pretty much any of the photos. I just feel like there could have been a lot more to it, and more of a concept, which I'm a little bit let down this week, I think, in that sense, that I just didn't get the photos that I wanted to get. So I think once again it comes down to time, but also composing a proper idea or concept before I just go into it. Sometimes we were just like, oh, here's a really cool spot, let's take a photo kind of thing, and that does work from time to time, but I feel like for this series of images I wish it had a bit more flow, and I wish that I'd just composed some more conceptual ideas for it. What I think I did well this week was really just coming out of my shell a bit in front of the camera. I mean, I don't think I did it really well, to be honest, but I think, you know, it was a step forward and I'm not used to doing it, so it's just something new for me this week, and I did it, and I tried something new, and maybe this will be a step forward in me posting a little bit more of myself on social media, which I don't do very often. I get so used to just taking photos of other people and putting it up on social media, so I think that's one good step in that direction. I'm going to show you guys my photos from the week now, and I'm going to tell you which photos are going to be in my top 3 this week. So guys, these are my photos from Chefchaouen in Morocco, and these I think I do like, but I feel like I could have arranged the photos to be a little bit more interesting than what they are. It was a very cold morning, and I had actually bought a dress, a red dress to wear through Chefchaouen, because I knew it was going to be a blue city and the red would contrast really well with it. So I couldn't really wear the red dress in the end though, because it was like, I don't know, 2 degrees that morning, maybe less, and it was very cold and even snowing and around the mountains, so I couldn't really wear it. Therefore I had to sort of wear some of my winter clothing, which I think was a little bit more dull, I think, against the blue, so that's why I wasn't as happy with them. I felt like it was just maybe not as interesting as they could have been. However, going through some of these photos now, this particular photo is actually going to be my top 3 this week. I do really like the composition of the photo, and I like the fact that the cat is sitting in the corner here. I do like my expression and my pose. I look pretty relaxed, which I'm pretty happy with, and I do like the landscape shot of it. So I think I'm pretty happy with this shot overall. This shot here I like, but I don't know if I like it as much as the first one. I think this just comes down to personal preference. Other people might disagree. I don't really like my expression as much, or my pose. I think it just looks a bit too posed and maybe a little bit lost in the expression as well. I think compared to this one here, I just kind of like that I'm a little bit more relaxed as well. Although I do like the backdrop and the composition of this shot as well, I don't think it's going to be in my top 3 this week. This is my 3rd and final photo from Chefchaouen. So I don't mind the photo. I think the pose could have been a little bit better. The angle of the shot as well. And my hand is just, I don't know what my hand's doing in this photo. So I think that's what's really putting me off here in putting it in my top 3. Although I do really like the backdrop, which is such a shame, because a lot of these photos I will really say that I like the backdrop. But I just feel like there's things that I'm not doing perfectly in the shot that's letting it down a little bit, I think. So I think for this one, it's not going to be in my top 3. This photo here is not going to be in my top 3 this week, and this is the start of the photos from Venice that was taken. So this particular shot, I'm not happy with the composition. I think that I don't really stand out in the shot. Once again, I'm not wearing clothing that's particularly bright, and that's because I didn't really pack any winter clothing that was particularly bright. Most of what I wanted to photograph was in summer clothing, and it was just not going to work here. It was just too cold. So I think it's just the fact that I'm not really standing out enough in this shot, and the composition's just quite off for me, so not in my top 3. This photo I do really like, and even though I'm not wearing the most colourful of clothing, I really do love the backdrop. I love the composition of the shot, and I look pretty relaxed in the shot as well, so I do really think that this would be great for my top 3, so it's going to be in there this week. I really would have liked this shot a lot more had my pose been a bit different. I don't like the fact that you can't see my hands. I don't really know what I'm doing with that pose. So I think that's what really puts me off. But it's a shame because I do like the color of the backdrop of the wall. and the fact that I do look kind of relaxed, I guess, in my pose, just with the hands. They're just, I don't know what they're really doing. And I did like my expression as well, but unfortunately not in my top 3 this week. This shot I really like. I think it could have been a little bit more interesting than what it is, which is the problem for me. And I think compositionally, maybe there could have been something else going on. I would have liked the angle maybe a little bit lower, looking back now, to see the light coming through, like maybe as a lens flare or something behind my hair. I think that would have been a little bit more interesting than what the shot looks like at the moment. So unfortunately, this one's not going to be in my top 3, but I do still really like the image. And this photo is my final shot. So this is going to be my top 3 this week. I actually really love the backdrop. As soon as I saw it, I really wanted to have a photo taken in front of it. My clothes aren't the most interesting in the shot, but I do kind of look relaxed. And I just kind of like how the shot came together in the end. I like the lighting on it, which was really, it was a bit of a fine line between wanting to take the shot and not, because the light had gotten quite strong at that point and it was starting to kind of overtake the wall. But we sort of thought we'd go for it anyway and see how it turned out. And I'm glad we did, because this is actually my favorite shot of the week. So this is my #1 shot. And hopefully next time we'll have some more themes going on with my self-portraits if I do any. So yeah, this is my favorite shot from the week, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, sorry it's not technically great this week again, but next week we are definitely back to model photo shoots that I have done in Rome, so that will be exciting, and I'm really excited to post those. Thank you so much for watching again, and if you want to join our Facebook and Flickr groups for the 52-week project, the links are listed in the description box below, and I will see you next week. Bye!